Salam, salam. This is Unity, and I'm here to do a Unity moment. And I'm going to be talking about the books I'm reading. On my channel, I done did a couple of. I think I did one or two the books I'm reading, but I always wanted to incorporate this more in my channel, especially um from the first to the eighth. I had no power. We had a hurricane came through. It wasn't like a 5, but it was a 1, and it was over 70,000 people didn't have any power. His name was Hermes, and I got a video that I'm gonna do. But one of the things that when you don't have no power, after 5 days, my oldest son had power, and I could have went with him. I just didn't want to leave my cat. So I stayed the whole 8 days, living slightly indigenous, and it made me revisit things that, we have the internet and stuff like that, but it made me revisit things, and one of the things was reading, and reading is one of the things that I always love. I have books everywhere in my house, like on my dresser, on the floor, on the bookshelf, downstairs. I have books everywhere, and I'll link one of the videos of some of the other books that I have presented to y'all. I put it in a note, but yeah, so without the power, which my black power was activated, my melanin was activated. I'm looking at my cat. He's sitting there slightly looking at me a little bit. But so in the midst of that, I went through my books. You do a lot of things when you don't have no power. Well, me, I start painting. I start doing a lot of things. But one of the things that I wasn't doing, that I read a little, but I wasn't like reading it to the extent like I used to. And I started reading a lot in those 8 days, and painting. But like I said, I got a video coming up, so let me show y'all the 2 books that I pulled out that I had for a while, and I never finished them, so I just started them all over to like remember the story. And I'm glad I did, especially this one right here, Afeni Shakur, Evolution of a Revolutionary, by Jasmine Guy. Like Jasmine Guy was in a different world. This is her. And rest in Uhuru, live in freedom. Mama Afeni Shakur. This book is so good. I have a Sada, which I'm going to revisit that. And I think I just made it to like 144 pages when I first got it some years ago. But I'm going to revisit that because I want to get in it. But I don't know what I just said. But this is really a good book. And I found this book probably I done had this book probably, I want to say about 10 years, but it could have been a little bit before then. A little bit after then. But I found it for $2.99. And I found it from this store here in Tallahassee. It's called City Trend now. It used to be called Allies, but now it's called City Trend. And I went back there a couple of years ago because they used to have a lot of black books and they used to be really reasonable. But I guess too many black folks was opening up and waking up. So they didn't have the good books. It was like Amos Wilson, and it was really cheap. Like I got a couple of other books that I got from City Trend back then, and I'm gonna try it again and see if they reopen that. I know it's still a City Trend on the south side. I wonder if there's another one somewhere else. But they had really cheap books. And like I say, $2.99 for this book. I don't know what's the value of this book now. I think when it came out, it was like $25. But yeah. So okay, so that one I'm reading. I'm probably on page 34. I'm on page 34. I think I'm on page 34. Yeah. But she kind of go through her life, and in one of the interesting parts, when my power was out, I had opened the book up to a part, which I'm gonna see in this video that I got coming up, and it said she talked about buying land, and she talked about how she got to make sure she have a generator lest the power go out. and I opened that up on it when I was going, like, wow. So yeah, checked it. I mean, I'm gonna put a link below if I can find this book for reasonable. So that's one. Another one is this one, The Darkest Child by Delores Phillips. And with this one, I know when I was reading it, I'm on page 19, because it's like I really want to really want to, you know how you read something, I really want to get into the story. I want to get into what the writer was saying, and when I was reading this, I don't know, I felt like in my stomach, like what the mom was going through. Like I said, I'm just on page 18. Yeah, page 20. I think it's page 20. I'm on page 20. And it just took me back to those days. Yeah, so I mean, The Darkest Child is set in the rural Georgia in 1950, a time when opportunities for African Americans was unimaginable different. This is a story of a mother who cannot distinguish love from possession, a daughter, her darkest child, who longs for a better life. So I'm just going to read that part, but yeah, I really felt this in my womb when I was reading it. I don't know. So this is two of the books that I'm reading now, and what I want to say is, if y'all could get these and y'all want to read along with me, and y'all can just come back to this video and put comments. But both of these books are really good. Jasmine Guy, that was on a different world. When she writes, she makes you feel that you're there with her and Afeni. Like, she makes you feel that you're there. And this one, like both of these books, maybe because I really love books and I really love Black people, and I just felt like I was there with both of them. And the writing was so well. I mean, the writing in this book, you see how this is? This book, I could really read this book in a whole day. And this book is it's written so plainly and clearly, like a third grader could read this book. It's not no big giant words. It's like you could read this book with your like I say, third grader, and they can get it. You know, they might don't get some of the times, but you could kind of explain it to them. But this is a book, it's a universal book, and I'm excited to hear, like, just to read more. And I know she was in prison with Tupac and when she was pregnant with him, but oh wow, just the stuff that I done read that she went through. Everybody got a story. But wow, this is a really good book. Yeah, and this one is too. So if y'all pick these up and read them, I'm pretty sure that y'all can probably find these on the Kindle and all that. I said I was gonna get me like a Kindle or a Nook and start listening to books and downloading books. I'm so old school when it comes to books. I gotta have a book in my hand, and plus they're really good things that we could pass on to our babies, and they won't, you won't, like if something happened and the internet go out and a thing, you still got this. So kind of old school with that, but I will, when I do get a Kindle and a Nook, I will put that in these. But this is my unity moment. I don't know what I want to call this. I know it's a unity book moment. Yeah, a unity book moment. This is what I call this. And yeah, so like I say, if y'all want to read along with me, I don't know how long I'm gonna be with this one, but I know I will be doing another one when I get like probably like halfway into these, which will probably be like, I say mid-October. Then I'll bring two more in that I'll be reading. or 2 or 3 more. You know, us artists be messy brain. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to all my new subscribers. I have some Black business spotlights coming up, and I have some earring of the day. I'm trying to get back on track after being in the dark for 8 days. I literally went in the grocery store and I didn't know what to buy because I had lost all my food. So when I went a couple of days ago, I was trying to figure out in my mind, I was still like in the dark and still trying to live this slightly indigenous life. So I was like, well, I ain't know what to buy in the store. So I bought fruit and water, things that I was buying when my lights was out. So like I said, I got a video coming up about that, and y'all can kind of experience a little bit because it's going to kind of be more visual of what it's not going to be really long, and I want to do more videos like that, just visual things. With my YouTube channel, I do let y'all in on some things in my life, because I'm not the type of person to give y'all all of me. Y'all got enough of me, and I don't. It's just what I learned with YouTube. By watching YouTube, you have to be really careful. Well, I got to be really careful what I put out there. I want to make sure that my channel is about me, but I wanted to make sure the things I like, as far as I love Black people, I love art, I love reading, I love holistic living, and all that. And I want to make sure that my channel represent that. All right. Salam, salam.